Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind. That is your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Okay guys, today we are going to be going over the latest episode of Bel-Air, Season 1, Episode number 5 called PA to LA. This episode starts off with Will riding in the car with Trey because he just picked him up from the airport. Trey is looking around and he's enjoying the scenery, and when they get to the mansion, he's even more impressed. Then he turns to Will and he says, "I know it's going to be hard for you to give this up, huh?" And Will was like, "What you mean?" And Trey says, "Since Rashad's dead, you don't got to hide out here in LA no more." And Will was like, "Yeah, for sure." But the look on his face said he wasn't really sure about it, okay, guys? Then they go inside and they see Aunt Viv, and Trey mentions it in front of her that now that Rashad's gone, they're going to be back running Philly again. So Aunt Viv was like, "Okay, if that's what you want," right? But then Aunt Viv gets on the phone with Vi, and she tells Vi that Will has been floating the idea around about heading back to Philly. And Vi was like, "It's been on my mind too, and I'm thinking he should come home for Thanksgiving and that'll be it." So Viv says, "Well, I think he should stay. He's just starting to get his rhythm, and there's lots of opportunities here for him outside of sports, right? He may even have an opportunity for a summer internship with the fraternity." But Vi wasn't trying to hear that, and she tells Viv that she's not done raising her son, and she feels like Viv is trying to take her place. And to me, guys, the conversation just went left, and I'm not really understanding what happened between these sisters, but I feel like there's a secret, and I'm really wondering what the heck is going on at this point, okay? They don't seem to have that sisterly bond like they had on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And by this time we already know that things are way different from that show to this one. Okay, next. While Trey gets settled in Will's room, he has some jokes and he makes a few comments about Will adjusting to the lifestyle in Bel-Air. When Will tells Trey that they gotta dress up to eat in the formal dining room, Trey can't believe it and he says, "Wow, they really got you buying into this bougie stuff. It's not right." And clearly Will doesn't see anything wrong with it because he's adjusting pretty well. But what he probably does see is that this visit from Trey may not be as smooth or as fun as he thought it would be, especially if all Trey is going to do is make jokes about Will's family. Next, Will asks Hillary if he should go back to Philly, and she was like, "Why would you do that?" And Will says, "Philly is my home and I miss it. Plus, my mom and Trey are there, people that I love, and they're expecting me to come back." And Hillary says, "Look, just because you miss a place doesn't mean you got to go back there. I know it's hard disappointing a parent, but you got to do what's best for you. And I think you should stay." So Will takes this piece of advice into consideration. Next, the family sits down for dinner with Hillary and her fellow influencers, and it's like a goodbye dinner, right? Uncle Phil, who knew the rundown on all the influencers because he read the prep email that Hillary sent out, okay? He further shows his support to Hillary by getting up and making a toast to her. He tells her that she is destined for greatness. Then, while Will is talking to one of the influencers, Trey's drunk behind, who is sitting next to Carlton, starts running his mouth entirely too much. He asks Carlton if he was happy that things would be going back to the way it was, because Will is going home now that Rashad is dead. Then Carlton says, "So you don't think that my parents and Will's mom overreacted by sending Will here? You think Rashad was really going to hurt him?" And Trey was like, "Yeah, most definitely. Rashad had murder in his eyes." Then Trey mentions how much time Will was facing for the gun charge and how Uncle Phil made it all go away, okay? And I was just like, oh my gosh, why the heck is he running his mouth so much? Next, the prankster brothers just couldn't help themselves and they had to pull a prank on Hillary and the family. Then one of them comes out naked with just a pair of socks on, okay, running across the daggone dining room. But nobody got in an uproar about it and the party continued to flow and Hillary seems like she was feeling pretty accomplished, okay? Next, Uncle Phil is having a talk with Carlton because Carlton seems upset that his father broke the law to help Will. Uncle Phil tells him that he had to do it or else Will would have went to prison and his future would have been ruined. He also tells Carlton that if any of this stuff comes to light, Will won't be the only one who suffers. Then Carlton says, "So all those lectures you gave me about justice and following the rules, that was all BS." And Uncle Phil says, "People make mistakes and deserve a second chance. Didn't we teach you that?" So, without going further into this, guys, the bottom line is that Carlton is all hurt over this situation, and Uncle Phil tells him to give him his word that he will keep the conversation between them. And Carlton says, "Yeah, you have my word because it's actually worth something." And I was like, man, if you don't go sit your lying, hypocritical behind down somewhere. This is the same dude who lied to his parents' face and said that Connor didn't plant the drugs in Will's book bag. And now he want to act all uppity because his father bent the rules to save his cousin's life. Boy, bye. Anyway, so next, as if we haven't had enough of this little freaking brat, he goes into Will's room without knocking with this hypocritical behind, and he tells Will that he's full of crap and that he knows about the gun incident and the role his dad played to help him. So Will says, "Carlton, please don't snitch." And Carlton says, "Then stay out of my way at home and at school and stay away from Lisa because she doesn't deserve to be brought into your nonsense." And I was like, yeah, just like she don't deserve to be messing around with you, a freaking drug addict, okay? And another thing, guys, I thought him and Will agreed to get along. So why bother with the whole stay out of my way garbage? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, next, while Uncle Phil is at the D Smoke concert with Trey and Will, Aunt Viv goes to check out this art gallery, and looky, honey, Michael Ealy done graced us with his presence, child, and he goes by the name of Reed, okay? But I didn't appreciate how his fine behind seemed to be coming on to Aunt Viv, okay? Even as he simply described her paintings. Now, I don't know if they had a past or not, but he does encourage her to get back into painting. And when she tells him that she's not ready, he tells her that she just has to get back into it, because there's never a right time. Next, Congressman Turley and Lisa's father Fred show up to the D Smoke concert just to tell Uncle Phil that he needs to tone down his rhetoric because the comments he made about defunding the police, they weren't appreciated by everybody. And if he doesn't tone it down, there will be consequences. And Uncle Phil was like, "Noted, but I stand by what I said. Now, excuse me, I got to get back to this concert." Next, Ashley pretty much comes out to Hillary when she tells her that she has a crush on a girl named Lucia. She also tells Hillary that she likes girls, but she hasn't ruled out boys yet either, which is why she doesn't want to tell her parents because she's still trying to figure things out. Hillary tells her that she doesn't have to tell anyone if she doesn't want to, but she's happy that she told her. Next, Will lets Trey know that he might be considering staying in LA, but he doesn't know because he's still trying to figure it out. But Trey accuses Will of having his mind made up and that he should just admit it. He also tells Will that he can't believe he's going to turn his back on where he came from. So Will says, "I just need you to get off my back right now. Besides, take a look around you and tell me what's back in Philly that's better than this." But Trey tells Will that he's nothing but a liar because all day he was talking about going back home. Next, Carlton and Lisa are working together for her mother's memorial event, and they were vibing and getting along and, smiling and stuff like that. And she really appreciated his help. But when Carlton tried to kiss her, she was like, "Whoa, hold up. My feelings have not changed, boo. Like, back up." Next, the visit from hell continues with Trey and Will still beefing, okay? Trey trying to walk around and give Will the silent treatment. And Will tells him that they can't be beefing like this all week. And Trey was like, "That's if I stay all week, okay?" Then he was like, "How am I supposed to act? You trying to level up and leave my broke tail behind." And Will was like, "You my boy, and you're supposed to be happy for me when great things happen in my life." And I was like, facts. But guys, things just went left, okay? Because the stuff that was coming out of Trey's mouth, it made him sound like a little hater. And my thing is, Will was going to leave anyway with the D1 scholarship if he never got in trouble. So what's the big deal if he stays in Bel Air? Like, he was going to leave you regardless, bro. I understand that it's hard, but the words that are coming out of your mouth, it don't sound too supportive. Anyway, like I said, things went left and they start arguing, and Trey tells Will that he leveled up in LA while he got shot. And they kind of was having this little tit for tat thing going on, and Will was like, "Listen, I shot that gun because I was trying to stop them from jumping you." And then he was like, and whose gun was it in the first place? And then Trey was like, we weren't even supposed to be there, but you just couldn't let it go when Darnell said what he said about you, right? I mean, and they both had some great points, you know what I'm saying? But Trey was right most of all when he said we were never supposed to be there in the first place, and Will should have let that situation go instead of letting his pride take him to that park that night. All right, but Will says something most valuable. He says, and I learned from that. All right. Anyway, after Trey says, you leveled up while I got shot, he tries to walk away and Will tries to stop him, right? But Trey, he pushes Will on the bed and you know Will was not having that, okay? And he jumped up and pushes Trey to the ground and was ready to pound on his face and stuff, you know? But he stopped himself because he's like, no, this is my boy. All right. But then Will was like, get the F out my room, you know? Next, Uncle Phil gets good news and bad news about his campaign. For one, there's a video that went viral about him talking good about Hillary at the influencer dinner. Okay, but on the other hand, he received some backlash about his defund the police comment. And his little campaign manager or whoever he was trying to tell him that, you know, I don't know if this is going to go over well with my donors and stuff like that. And Uncle Phil was like, well, it's a good thing I got a few million myself, you know? Shoot. All right, guys, before we move on, let's take a quick moment in honor of Black History Month to pay homage to one of our Black inventors. All right, although Willis Carrier, a white man, is largely credited for inventing the modern air conditioner, Frederick M. Jones, a Black man, invented the first portable air conditioning units in 1949. Mr. Jones's invention was used tremendously in field military hospitals, keeping wounded soldiers comfortable while they recovered from injuries sustained while fighting during World War II. On top of that, Jones had at least 60 patents on various inventions, including refrigeration for food transport trucks. His inventions during war times saved countless lives, and a modified version of his device is still being used today. With that being said, Frederick M. Jones, we salute you. All right, guys, let's get back to this episode. Next, Trey is waiting for his ride so he can leave, and Will tells him that he doesn't have to leave. Trey says, yes, I do. I can't stay here and go back home soft. So Will says, I'm not soft, and you know that. I just realized that there's more to the world than just West Philly. And Trey says, not to me, bro, with tears in his eyes. Then he leaves, you know. And it was sad, you know, and I kind of feel like, wow, what a waste of a trip. But some things need to happen in life because unfortunately there are some people that you gotta break away from, you know. And I'm hoping that him and Trey will make up and that Trey is not one of those people. But like I said, sometimes things happen so that you can move forward in the next chapter of your life for the people that are not supposed to go to that next level with you, all right? Next, Aunt Viv finally tells Hillary what she's been waiting to hear, that she's proud of her. And I was happy for Hillary too, guys. Next, Will calls his mom on FaceTime, and before he could even say anything, she tells him that she's been trying to figure out when to get him back home. And Will was like, what if I stayed? And his mom was like, well, it's always been me and you, and I know you think you're grown, but I feel like you still need me. And Will tells her that he does still need her, but he also wants to figure out what's out there for him. Then he reminds her of what she's always told him, which was that his life is more than the 14 square miles of Philly that he grew up in, and that his crown is waiting for him as soon as he found the courage to wear it. Then he says to her, I'm ready, Ma. And that's pretty much how the episode ended, with his mother telling him that she supports him and she always will, even though it made her sad. And, you know, it was pretty sad. But that was it, guys. And let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I thought it was a pretty good episode. And I can't wait to see what happens next week. I don't even know what to expect because, like I said, I haven't seen a trailer yet. Okay. All right, guys. That's it for the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.